Hey folks, so you're interested in moving to Serbia in 2021 and you're interested in doing that legally, getting a residence permit and settling down here. How do you do that? What are the categories you can apply for the residence permit under? And how does that all work? I have a email here in my inbox from a subscriber. And basically, Zatara is the person's name. I've seen this person posting many times in the comments on my YouTube channel, and this has come over via email. So Belgrade Beat answering your questions once again. So you mentioned there's an entrepreneurial status one can apply for if running a business in Serbia. As I understand, this gives you the right to stay in Serbia longer. However, what options are there staying in the country as a foreigner? I am British, so only able to stay 90 days visa free. I do not wish to work in Serbia at this point or run a business as I have independent means. What would be the best option to take in these circumstances? Well, it depends what your independent means actually mean. I would say that if you actually have some income that's saved up and you're willing to buy property, that would be the easiest way to get residence here. You buy property and then they'll give you a visa or stay here under those circumstances. So you can get any property. There's some restrictions on buying agricultural land as a foreigner where you would have to do it through a limited company, apparently. Haven't done it myself just yet. But you can buy like an apartment or a house, in one of the cities, and you can get stuff still for like 12,000 euros or something like that. Is I think the minimum you would get something decent, and then you'll get the residence here no problem. As a temporary residence, you have to as a temporary resident you have to reapply every 6 months to 1 year. Sometimes they give only 6 months at the beginning, but then it's every year. And after 5 years of temporary residence, you can apply for a permanent residence, but there is a physical presence requirement here for that. So that's the easiest way if you have money and you're willing to invest a little bit in an apartment here. I would recommend the websites City Expert, Hello Oglasi, and other ones like that to find the stuff. Same ones that I showed in the Finding an Apartment video. You can see those there and how those websites work. Just buying a place is just a different option on those websites. Now, if you wanted to open up a business, the simplest business construction is called Preduzetnik Paušalas, which translates roughly to entrepreneur a fixed tax or lump sum or something like that. And I've actually done this myself. And this is how I got my residence in Serbia. And basically you decide which category you're going to be doing business under, and then you register with the tax office. And then you get to pay whatever the Rešenje decision is on what you have to pay every month, whether it's like 200 euros, 400 euros. It depends on what line of business you're in, which area of Serbia you're living in, the average income there, the average income of people in your business. And they tell you, and it's like 250, 400 euros, 200 euros, whatever it is every month. And then you just pay that. And you have no further obligations to the tax office up to 6 million dinars a year going through that business. After that, there's increased accounting requirements and different tax rates. It won't be covered under lump sum anymore. And with that business registration, you'll usually get 6 months to a year initially, and then be able to renew on a yearly basis. You do have to have some money going through that company to show income. You do need to prove that you have enough income to support yourself initially in Serbia. And you do have to have health insurance. I think for pretty much every package you need health insurance. So that health insurance is a minimum about 8,000 dinars a year for someone my age in their 30s or whatever. And then you pretty much get it. The cost of applying for, I think, both of those visas is about 160 to 200 euros per year. And then if you're running the business, you also have to get a work permit. Now, this person said that they're not interested in working in Serbia, but you could just set up a business entity and get that work permit and whatever. If you have income from another country, for example, from investments or something, you could declare it as part of that business, up to 6 million dinars a year. And those are the first two ways: buying property opening up a pre-designated business. You can also do it by opening up a DOO, which is a limited company here in Serbia, but that's a little bit more in terms of reporting requirements and accounting and all that stuff. Yeah. So the third way you can get a residence in Serbia in 2021 is by having a serious romantic relationship with a Serbian person. They call it an out of marriage relationship. And, if you have a girlfriend in Serbia, boyfriend in Serbia, whatever it is, you can get that approved and you can get a visa to stay in Serbia based on that. Under any circumstance, if you have Serbia as your center of life, meaning, center of life, it would mean that you're here most of the time. This is the country you spend the most time in, and it's certainly, definitely you fall in this category if you spend more than 180 days or so, 183 days, I'm not sure which one it is, doesn't matter, here in this country, then you are a tax resident of Serbia. An idea of the tax rates, for example, if you're getting dividends from investments or owning a company in another country, that is taxed at 15% here, capital gains 15%, and stuff like that. And I've got some people I could put you in touch with if you want more information on setting up this company, on capital gains tax and all that sort of stuff. And finding an apartment, there's those websites on that video. Potential pitfalls, weird landlords, sort of nosy neighbors, bad furniture in the apartments that you can't really get rid of, all sorts of stuff, mold in the apartments. Those are potential pitfalls. But I'd say overall, Serbian landlords are pretty happy to have foreigners living in their place because I guess foreigners who come here tend to be more stable financially than locals somehow, not in all cases, of course. And if you got to stay under one of these categories, you likely are to be, having income from another country that you can pay the relatively low rents with here. What's different than the UK? I don't really know. When I was living in the UK, I rented a room from people who were renting an apartment in a council estate in East London. Not the typical experience. I haven't gone through the whole letting an apartment through an estate agent. The agents here, if they do show you the apartment, they take half of the first month's rent, except for the City Expert website, which seems to get all their money from the person renting that apartment, and the prices are a bit higher because of that, I suppose, but it's a better website. Serbian social life in various videos. Tightly knit social circles are definitely a thing, but people at the same time are very open to foreigners and getting to know them, and very happy the foreigners are here in the country making a life. And a lot of people find Serbian people very relatable, and even more relatable, better in English than a lot of people in Eastern Europe. So you can make friends here. Depends what your jam is in terms of social circles. When I moved here first time, I was meeting lots of people from Couchsurfing, which is a traveler's website and has lots of open-minded, internationally minded locals on it. You can go to language exchange meetups when they're happening. I don't know how many there are right now because of Corona. Sitting outside one of the coffee houses, starting up a conversation with people sitting there, would that be considered something of a social faux pas? Not at all. People are very much into that. You can talk to anybody anywhere in Serbia. They're quite open. With the ability to speak Serbian, maybe help break down some of the barriers, despite English being a good standard somewhere like Belgrade? Yes and no. I mean, there's no shortage of people who speak English, and they're actually a lot nicer when they speak English than when they speak Serbian to each other. In a lot of cases, they are more curious about foreigners and put a good face forward for the foreigners to leave a good impression of the country. So this is actually one of the friendliest places in the world, I think, to come as a foreigner and get started socially. People want to know you. They'll be curious. They'll be friendly. You can meet people in all sorts of situations, cafes. You can meet people, talk them up in local stores. You can, go to these meetups on these websites. Lots of events. You'll find Serbian people are among the most open in Europe, I would say. Definitely more open than, like most of the world in a lot of places. It's And it's not a place where you'll find locals really trying to befriend you to take advantage of you. Of course, it could happen because, you know, people here do have lower incomes than some countries like the UK or Canada where we're from, but typically people here are very honest and open to foreigners and really helpful in helping you do things like rent an apartment and translating to the landlords and making agreements and stuff like that. You know, you won't find that to be much of a problem, but try it before you buy it, folks. Come here to Serbia and see for yourself. Come here and see how friendly and open the people are. Come here, and if you think you might register for, you know, you are required to register with the police when you come here and stay in like an Airbnb. If you stay in a hotel, they'll do it for you. But basically, register that white card with a landlord from an Airbnb or any sort of private accommodation that you end up staying in, because that is a requirement. Not always enforced at the border, whether you have it or not, but it is essential if you want to start the process for getting any of the residency options that I spoke of in this video. So basically, I mean, come here first, check it out, see which neighborhoods of Belgrade you like, see which, maybe you want to live in Novi Sad instead, who knows? Maybe you want to live in a small village in Vojvodina or Shumania or something like that, you know? Whatever lifestyle suits you, come here, try it, meet some people, go to meetups, things like couch surfing, stop people in the street, and just get an idea of the mentality and lifestyle here and see if that works for you first. But it's easy to come here even in 2021 with Corona restrictions here. There aren't that many. You just need a PCR test to enter this country as a tourist, and then everything's pretty much normal when you get here. Maybe some people wearing masks, and right now restaurants are closed to indoor dining, but everything else, you know, you have to wear a mask when you go in the stores and stuff, but sitting outside, nobody's wearing a mask. Walking down the streets, most people are not wearing a mask. And well, this is a great place to be during this time, especially now that we're heading into the beautiful time of year from April to October. You know, April, they say in German, der April macht was er will, which means April does what it wants. But after this, May until at least the end of September is really beautiful here. So it's a good time to test whether you like it here, you like the people, you like the liveliness on the streets, you like the food and drink and sort of ways that the city is set up and the ways that you can spend your time, and see if you can find a new home here. So any questions I didn't answer, feel free to put in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks a lot, Eric. My name is Eric. This is Belgrade Beat. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.